everyone, my name is Nathan Pay and welcome to Blu Ocean Crypto. Today we're going to be doing an introduction to No Kuni Cross Worlds, but before we jump into it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and the bell to stay up to date on all the great play to earn content we have coming out on our channel. Offering up Ghibli-inspired graphics, the folks over at Netmarbles have produced an absolutely stunning play-to-earn title for the masses. The fact that so many people already know what Ni no Kuni is what's so amazing about this title, because it's really going to help onboard a lot of people into crypto and NFT gaming. So let's pull up the website and see what it's all about. First, we're going to take a look at the introduction of the story. So you're about to enter a brand new world in the virtual reality game Soul Divers. But as you explore and become stronger, you realize this world is not a virtual one. A mysterious girl entrusts you with a mission: rebuild your kingdom ransacked by powerful foes, and save the two connected worlds from certain destruction. Alright, let's see what they offer in the way of character classes. My go-to character class is a tank or brute. I just love seeing massive damage as my character swings around some gigantic weapon. What type of character do you like to play? Drop a comment down below and let us know. Alright, so we've got 5 characters here. We've got the Engineer, the Destroyer, that's the one I'll definitely play, the Swordsman, the Witch, and the Rogue. Now, if you've ever played a Ni no Kuni title, you'll already know about familiars. In fact, some fan favorites of the first 2 Ni no Kuni games make an appearance in this one. There's a whole variety, obviously lots of different types to collect, with a whole range of different attributes. Through the familiar adventure mode, you'll send them on adventures to get rewards. Just kind of moving along, let's take a look at the various locations in Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. So there's an Eastern Heartlands, really pretty. We've got the Burning Desert. Kind of reminds me of Diablo 2, you know, the second act where you go to the desert. You've got the Witch's Woods, and finally, the Winter Wonderland. I just love how beautiful this looks, especially for a play-to-earn game. You know, this is probably one of the nicest looking ones we've seen yet that's actually playable. So what I'm most interested in, I'm sure you guys are too, is the actual crypto side of the game, or the NFT aspect to it. I've already got the information up on another tab, so let's hop over and take a look. Firstly, let's dive right into the tokens. So there are 2 main tokens. There's a Terrorite token, it's called NKT, which is their utility token and exists on the Marblex platform. Users can exchange in-game currency from Netmarbles Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds for Terrorite tokens and freely distribute them outside the game. You can earn them by playing the game. You'll earn it from dailies, familiar adventure, or hunting monsters in the Chaos Field. Chaos Field, what's that all about? Essentially, the Chaos Field is where the majority of the game takes place. You'll earn Terrorite by hunting monsters. Higher level Chaos Field monsters will also earn you more Terrorite, and the Terrorite energy available in the Chaos Field accumulates every day up to a week's worth, and more or less acts as your stamina bar. The maximum amount of Terrorite energy you can accumulate will increase according to your character level. You'll also be earning Terrorite from doing simple in-game missions that will reset daily. When setting your familiars off on an adventure, they'll collect Terrorite by occupying Terrorite gathering sites. So a pretty straightforward process of collecting Terrorite in-game, exchanging it for the Terrorite token, adding it to your Marblex wallet, and from there bringing it to an exchange. I'll show you what that looks like in a few moments. So just kind of moving along, let's take a look at the second token in Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds 2 token model. The Asterite token, or NKA, functions as a utility token on the Marblex platform and can be freely distributed outside the game in the same manner as the Terrorite token. We can collect Asterite in 2 different modes: Lava Valley, a 3v3 competitive battle mode with weekly and seasonal rewards awarded to only the top 10% of players, and the Familiar Arena, where your team of 5 familiars will face off in a competitive fashion with other player familiars, with the top 10% of players here also being awarded weekly and seasonal awards. And in the same manner as Terrarite and the Terrarite token, Asterite can be earned in-game, exchanged for the Asterite token, and brought over to an exchange via our Marblex wallet. Well, you'll see here that it goes right into it, talks about the token exchange formula. This is probably going to intimidate most people when they take a look at it. I won't bother going through the math here, but this is pretty easy to figure out if you are interested in doing that. I think the most important part here is simply taking a look at their token distribution. So 67% of the initial 1 billion tokens are going to be distributed via in-game currency and exchanges. 20% is used for marketing, 10% for operations, and also 3% for the MBX deposit. I assume that's the fee, not sure though. If you know, definitely let us know in the comments. Terrarite and Asterite tokens can be exchanged for their respective currencies in-game at any time. The amount of Terrarite or Asterite redeemable per token is determined by the token exchange rate at the time of exchange. Terrarite can be obtained by anyone at any time. However, drop rates decrease significantly once Terrarite energy has been depleted. Asterite is only awarded to the top 10% of players that participate in the competitive side in the game, and only through the weekly and seasonal rewards. Asterite has a very limited distribution amount and range compared to Terrarite. As a result, obviously, it can maintain a higher value compared to Terrarite. It does talk about some information in regards to the exchange and how their exchange formula functions. They are at least transparent about there being fees on the exchange, which I like, and they don't really say exactly what the cost is, but I assume that's the 3% we just recently covered. But it also says a set percentage of the token's market price is used to calculate what that fee might be. So I'd say it could vary a little bit. It also mentions that the amount that can be exchanged daily may be limited per account. Okay, so that was kind of the boring stuff. Let's move on to the token economy and take a look at some of the goals Netmarble are looking to achieve within this economy. So they want to emphasize the intrinsic fun factor and create a token economy structure that benefits both the players and the token holders. The essential role of the game's use is to avoid speculative pre-sales and NFT pre-releases and ensure the fun and sustainability is profitable via a high-quality game and proven well-designed token economy. So that's a bold statement for them to say. However, No Kuni is well known, Netmarble also well known. It's actually really exciting to see a company with this kind of history come into the crypto space and try to tackle this. And what I can tell, they're doing it right. They also talk about how there's the two token systems forming a free market economy. There's 1 billion of each the NKT and the NKA token. Differentiated value is established by clearly distinguishing their sources, scope of payment, and exchange sector. All really great stuff to see. And that's basically just saying there's one that's going to be higher value and there's different ways to earn. They talk about how the acquisition is proportional to a character's value. So basically, you know, the further along in the game you are, the more you're going to collect. That's really the summary of that. They talk about stable return generation. Users can generate a return with the NKT gained from Terrarite mining right from the game's launch. However, it may lose some of its starting value as more users play and they strengthen their characters. You'll be able to earn the Asterite, which then can be converted into the high-value NKT to generate greater revenue. There's an incentive to get near the end of the game or high level because you're going to want to get there in order to gain access to be able to earn more of the token. I like how they did that to incentivize people to play longer. So in the long run, players who consistently play No Kuni Cross Worlds are guaranteed stable returns, or at least that's their claim. They talk about how it's a reasonable value. They talk about how their token exchange rate formula is designed to take into consideration the total production amount and service days. So this also talks about how the value of Terrorite tokens will be preserved throughout the life of the game by increasing the ways Terrorite is used for character progression, essentially kind of like a burn mechanic. The Asterite token will be preserved throughout the life of the game by increasing the ways that it's used, same idea, just like we covered with the Terrorite token and adding in burning opportunities. And the formula is advantageous for preserving the token's value because it's designed to better the exchange rate over time while other factors remain consistent. Easy to say that, but a whole different story to actually follow through. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. And the last thing it talks about is how it's a reliable investment asset. It's only going to be used for distribution in exchanges, marketing operations, and ecosystem fees. It does not sell tokens directly to anyone. Pretty basic stuff, but it's nice that they're covering all of their foundations. Let's take a look at the last section, which is just a vision or the roadmap. Here's the roadmap, and the token symbols look pretty cool. I really like that. So we've got 2020 Q3. They're adding the staking system, where a portion of the game's revenue will be returned to the players as MBXK. This is not available yet, so currently we're right here. They talk about the Asterite exclusive shop update, as well as there's going to be additional Kingdom content. Going into Q4 2022, we've got additional server content, power content expansion, and they're going to add NFTs. Now, we're really curious to see what this means. Is it going to be the gear that's NFTs? Maybe the familiars? We're not sure, but I'm definitely excited to see how it plays out. But right now, we're going over an introduction to make sure that this was viable as a play-to-earn game before we even think about investing or beginning. You know, one huge thing that's different about play-to-earn compared to traditional games is you basically want to research and master the game as much as you can first before you actually invest in or play the game, which is typically the exact opposite of Web 2 games, where you play to learn them as you go. So that's all we've got for the roadmap there. Everything definitely looks promising. I do want to jump over to the Marblex wallet and show you guys what that looks like on the phone. It was very intuitive and easy to set up and use. So you can see we've got the Marblex token at the top. We also have our game tokens here, the Terrorite and Asterite. Just taking a look at Marblex, it's pretty intuitive and simple to use, as you would imagine, and it also has the ability to send and receive. Here's the Terrorite token, and it's giving us some information on it. We can trade it, and it's also showing us how much volume is going. Let's take a look at the Asterite token as well, and what I really like about this interface is just how clean it is. It's very easy and intuitive to understand, and you can even see where we're going to nickname our wallet address and be able to link with the game. Then of course you've got all your settings, really easy to use, and I definitely like how simple this was all set up. So that was our brief introduction to No Kuni Cross Worlds, and I hope all you guys are just as excited as I am about this game. In our next video, we'll jump into some gameplay, look at what it's like getting started, and take a look at this beautifully designed game. We'll take a look at the Terrorite token and the Asterite token in-game, what kind of earnings we're actually getting, and what kind of return we can expect as well. I'm super stoked about this because we have a famous company and title now moving into the crypto NFT space, and it looks like they have their foundation built properly. They've got a 2-token system, they're going to be implementing NFTs, they're focusing on the fun factor first. It's also on the Google Play and Apple Store, and there's even a PC version. So yeah, if you guys want to join us on the discussion, I highly recommend you head over to our Discord. We have a dedicated channel just to No Kuni, where we have a bunch of people playing it, discussing it as they go, and we'd really love to see you there. Until next time, guys, cheers.